Exams are coming up, and you might already be feeling the pressure. Maybe you've been reading your notes over and over, but nothing seems to stick. Or maybe you keep putting things off, and now you're worried you don't have enough time. Trust me, you're not alone. Every student faces this. But here's the good news. There are proven strategies that make studying easier, smarter, and way less stressful. In this video, I'll share 10 exam preparation tips that actually work, so you can stop cramming, start focusing, and walk into your exam room with confidence. Tip 1. Start early and plan ahead. One of the biggest mistakes students make is waiting until the very last minute to start studying. When you cram the night before an exam, your brain doesn't have enough time to store and organize the information. You might remember a few things for the short term, but most of it will disappear by the next morning. Instead, start early and make a simple study plan. This doesn't mean you have to study 10 hours a day, even 1 hour every day. Starting 2 or 3 weeks before the exam will give your brain enough time to absorb the material. A good trick is to write out a timetable, list your subjects, spread them across the days, and stick to the schedule. That way, by the time the exam comes, you'll feel calm and prepared, not rushed and panicked. Tip 2. Break your study sessions into chunks. Instead of trying to read for hours without a break, use a method like the Pomodoro technique. Study for 25 to 30 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. After 3 or 4 sessions, reward yourself with a longer break. This keeps your brain fresh, prevents burnout, and actually helps you remember more. Long, non-stop studying often leads to fatigue and poor focus, but short, consistent sessions boost concentration and retention. Tip 3. Prioritize key topics. Here's a secret. Not every topic in your textbook is equally important. Many students waste time trying to study everything and end up feeling overwhelmed. Instead, focus on the areas that matter most. How do you find them? Look at your syllabus, review past exam questions, and listen carefully to what your teachers emphasize in class. Those hints are gold. For example, if a math exam has a history of always including a geometry problem, make sure you've mastered geometry first. If your literature teacher keeps repeating a certain theme in class, there's a high chance it will appear on the test. By identifying and prioritizing key topics, you'll spend your energy wisely and avoid wasting time on low-value details. Tip 4. Use active recall and practice questions. Here's a powerful truth. Rereading your notes again and again is actually one of the weakest ways to study. Your brain tricks you into thinking you know the material, but when the exam comes, you freeze. The smarter approach is called active recall. Active recall means forcing yourself to bring information out of your memory without looking. For example, instead of reading a definition 10 times, close your book and try to write it out from memory. Or, grab some past exam questions and attempt to solve them without checking the answers. It might feel harder at first, but that's exactly why it works. It strengthens your memory pathways. The more you practice recalling, the easier it becomes to retrieve information during the real exam. Tip 5. Teach what you learn. Another underrated study hack is teaching. When you explain something to someone else, you're forced to simplify it and break it into steps, which helps you understand it more deeply. For example, imagine you just studied a science concept. Instead of moving on right away, pretend you're teaching it to a friend. Say it out loud, write it on paper, or even explain it to an imaginary class. If you stumble or forget a step, that shows you what you need to review again. Think about it. Teachers often know their subjects so well because they've explained them hundreds of times. When you teach what you've learned, you turn yourself into both the student and the teacher, and that doubles your understanding. Tip 6. Use healthy study habits. Studying isn't just about books, it's also about your body. If you're tired, hungry, or dehydrated, your brain won't work at its best. That's why healthy habits are just as important as study habits. Aim to get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every night, especially before exams. Fuel your brain with foods that boost focus, like fruits, vegetables, fish, and nuts. And don't forget to drink water. Your brain is almost 75% water, and even slight dehydration can reduce your concentration. Be careful with caffeine. A small cup of coffee or tea can help, but too much leads to energy crashes and restlessness. Remember, your body is the engine, and your brain is the driver. If you take care of both, you'll study and perform much better. Tip 7. Create the right environment. Have you ever tried to study while your phone keeps buzzing, people are talking, or the TV is on? No wonder it's hard to focus. Your environment plays a massive role in how productive you are. Choose a quiet, well-lit place to study. Keep your desk clean and organized so you don't waste energy searching for things. And here's a big one: put your phone away. Even if you tell yourself you'll just check one message, minutes can turn into hours of scrolling. If you find silence distracting, you can play soft background music, preferably instrumental, to help you stay focused. Tip 8. Mix subjects to avoid boredom. Studying the same subject for hours can make your brain tired and bored. After a while, the words just blur together and nothing sticks. A better strategy is to rotate between subjects. For example, spend 1 hour on math, then switch to history, then maybe review some science. This keeps your brain fresh, because you're activating different parts of memory and thinking skills. It also prevents monotony, so you're less likely to lose focus. Tip 9. Practice past exam conditions. One of the best ways to prepare is by simulating the actual exam. This means using past papers or practice tests and setting a timer. Sit down as if it's the real thing, no distractions, no notes, just you and the questions. At first, it might feel stressful, but that's exactly why it works. It trains your brain to stay calm and focused under pressure. By practicing in exam conditions, you improve your speed, time management, and confidence. So when the real exam comes, it won't feel unfamiliar. You'll be ready. Tip 10. Stay positive and manage stress. Finally, let's talk about your mindset. Many students fail not because they don't know the material, but because they panic. Stress blocks your memory and focus. That's why staying calm and positive is so important. Instead of telling yourself, "I'm going to fail," replace it with, "I'm prepared, and I can do this." Your words shape your confidence. You can also try quick breathing exercises. Inhale deeply, hold for a few seconds, and exhale slowly. A short walk or light exercise also helps clear your mind. Remember, exams are important, but they're not the end of the world. Do your best, stay positive, and keep things in perspective. A relaxed mind always performs better than a stressed one. Which of these tips will you try first? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who has exams coming up. Good luck, you've got this.